All right, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, Too Easy Sports Betting. I'm Trice Too Easy. Welcome to today's scheduled program and sports show. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button. If you've been here, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment on the video. And lastly, if you'd like to join my sports betting community, which is one of the best sports betting discords there is, it'll be in the pinned comment and in the description of the video. We in there all day, every day, chatting it up, cooking up plays, and having a good time. Okay, so we will review yesterday, and then we'll get right into it. This is, guys, full disclaimer. This is one of my favorite slates I've seen. I love the football game tonight, and I love the 3 basketball games we have. I love the opportunities, the matchups, the player props. This should be a very good day. Try not to fall in love with it. Try not to get my hopes up, because then if you lose, you feel worse. But I really like this slate. I think I got some very solid plays today. So yeah, let's just get right into it. First things first, review yesterday. 3 wins, 3 losses. I go up half of a unit. I went 3-2 on the slate, and then my parlay missed by Mikal Bridges had 19 and Jalen Johnson had 21. So 0.5 hooks on both of those. So happy. So that was very close to hitting. Mikal started off with 9 and then he finished with 19. Jalen Johnson started with like 0, finished with in the first quarter and finished with 21. So they were very close. It's unfortunate. Rockets won by 1, couldn't cover the spread. And the Knicks came out in the third quarter up 10, ran it up to 15, and then ended up somehow damn near getting blown out. Hey, I don't know. It's just a story of basketball this season, guys. Anyways, let's go ahead and jump right into today's video. Give me 1 second here. Let me hit this. Okay. All right. So, first things first, sponsor of the video, Bet Any Sports, an offshore sports book. Guys, if you are in a place where sports betting is not legal and you have to use a bookie or drive to a casino, you can go to Bet Any Sports, deposit money, withdraw it straight to your bank account. You can play player props, parlays. It's just like having FanDuel or ESPN bet, okay? You can take Matthew Stafford to do 46 pass attempts. You can parlay that with Brock Purdy's. You can do whatever you'd like on here. It's just like having a sports book, okay, guys? Anyways, let's start with football since there's only 1 game. And the first prop that I'm going to be on is Brock Purdy over 249.5 passing yards. Guys, they've seen each other once this season. He threw for almost 300 in that game. And my thing is, when it comes to this team right now, they don't really have a running back. The San Francisco 49ers run game is really bad right now. Brock Purdy has to throw the ball. You see George Kittle stepping up big. You see Juan Jennings stepping up big. Deebo Samuels is becoming like a running back wide receiver hybrid. I don't know what the fuck's going on with him. And he's dropping a lot. He's not seeing many targets, but Juan Jennings and Kittle are kind of carrying this offense right now. And I just think that Brock Purdy there's no reason to assume differently. The Rams have one of the worst passing and rushing defenses in the league. There's no reason to assume he comes out here and can't throw over 250 again. Give me Brock Purdy over 249.5 passing yards. Next, Juan Jennings over 69.5 receiving yards. Again, I understand that he, over on the season, only a 45% hit rate. Head-to-head this year, though, the first time he saw them, he had 175 fucking receiving yards. The Rams are one of the worst teams in the league versus receiving yards, 25th in the league. They're really, really bad at giving up passing yards. You have Brock Purdy, who's experienced seasoned quarterback, and he doesn't really have a running back right now. This is just going to lean into the pass. As you can see, full season, 45%. Last 5, he's hit it 3 out of 5. I'd be shocked if he doesn't, and the Rams don't have anyone to stop him. So I would be shocked if he doesn't come out here and have another big game. So I'm on Juan Jennings over 69.5. And lastly, I'm going to be on George Kittle over 59.5 receiving yards. This is probably the most free play of the day. I will say this, there are a lot of sharp bettors and a few bettors who I respect. They are on the under George Kittle 59.5 because head-to-head versus the Rams, historically, he's played them 4 or 5 times. He's never broke 59 yards. In fact, he has terrible games every time he plays versus the Rams. So if you, and so point being, he has never had a good game versus the Rams. They always shut him down. That said, I focus on what your eyes don't lie to you. You know, I use common sense and I go off what I've seen. I do understand there's a history of them locking George Kittle the fuck up and him having bad games versus him. That said, these Rams are 25th in the league for passing yards allowed, 20th versus the tight end position, and George Kittle has had to step up big time. His last 5 games, last 10 games, I mean, he's putting up ridiculous numbers, guys. And the Rams do not have anybody who can stop him. There's no reason to believe that George Kittle doesn't have a big night unless you go off the pass. I don't live in the past. I live in the now, and I look forward to the future. So I cannot go based on his history and say, oh, well, he's never done good for him. I get that, but right now, He's balling, and they need him. They have no running back. Again, they don't have a run game, so all Brock Purdy's doing is passing. So I do respect these guys who are on the under, but for me, listen, I don't do that shit. I'm on what I've seen. George Kittle has been stepping up and been getting tons of targets and passes. They have a quarterback who threw for 300 yards versus him last time. They have one of the worst pass defenses in the league. This sets up for George Kittle and Juan Jennings to have a big day. So there's no way I'm not going to take these guys. One side prop and one prop I do want to talk about real quick before we move on to the game. Kyren Williams receiving yards. So over the season, he doesn't get a lot of receiving yards. He hasn't hit his line a lot. He really is not a big targeted running back. Okay, fair enough. But head to head versus these 49ers, Kyren Williams is like the key star player. They can't really pass on the 49ers, so you're forced to run the ball or do some play actions, dump it off to your running back. Kyren Williams gets a lot of yards historically versus the 49ers. I will be parlaying him on some type of lotto ticket if I can get a line with him at 20 or 25. His line's at 10.5. So if I can get it for $25, $20, I don't want to bet it straight up because it's most likely not going to hit. But historically, he has shown he can have big games versus the 49ers. So I will be looking, if I can get his alt receiving yards at 25, I will look to parlay that with something on a lotto ticket. Okay, so I just want to throw that out there that Kyren Williams, this is a spot for him to have a big game receiving. Whether you take his receptions and juice it or his receiving yards and juice it, maybe look at it, sprinkle it as a parlay. I'm not saying play this as a play. I'm saying sprinkle it as a parlay and see what happens. Okay. Anyways, let's get into the actual game and talk about where I'm at, what I'm leaning, what I'm thinking, things like that. Okay, so the game. Guys, I have to be on the 49ers by 2.5, and I'm on the under 49.5 for the points. So this may surprise a lot of people. The Rams are on fire. They're playing good ball. Trust me, I get it. And I know that it's really hard to fade Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, and the Rams, Kyren Williams, and the Rams just in general right now because they do look good. Okay, guys, I'm aware of that. And Matt Stafford, honestly, he looks pretty good too. The problem is, guys, if you really look at the Rams games, any team with a competent passing defense, the Rams lose to almost every single time. If you go through their games historically, anytime the Rams face a team, even the Bears, I mean, any team who's capable of stopping the pass tends to beat them. Now, I know you guys are going to say, well, the 49ers beat them the last time they played. You're 100% correct. It was a close game. The Rams won last time they played. You're correct. It was a very close game, and the Rams did come out on top. At that time, the 49ers were shaky. They were still trying to figure things out, and they were dealing with the CMC injury still. They just weren't looking good. Currently, the 49ers have figured things out, and they're just passing the fucking ball, and they're being ridiculously effective at it. That said, I think that the 49ers are, when it comes to pass defense, guys, they're like first in the league, least yards giving up. So the problem is I don't think that the Rams will be able to pass the ball at all, which I know is a big statement because it's Stafford, Puka, and Cooper Kupp and all them, Tutu Atwell even. They're so good. Their passing attack's been so good. I'm telling you, these 49ers have possibly the best passing defense in football with the least yards per game. Even if you look at the last time that they played each other, guys, if you look at it as a whole, Matt Stafford, he went 16 for 25 with 221 yards and 1 touchdown. Brock Purdy went 22 for 30 with 292 yards and 3 passing touchdowns. Matt Stafford in the passing attack was not the problem. The problem was Kyren Williams with 24 carries, 89 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Kyren Williams was the issue. Frankly, the problem had absolutely nothing to do with the Rams passing the ball. Tutu Atwell had 4 catches for 93 yards. That's it. Everybody else didn't do anything. So the point I'm trying to make is all the 49ers have to do is stop the run and they can win the game. That said, with how well coached and how good of an organization the 49ers are, and with them starting to look better and figure things out, I am sure they go to the drawing board and they find ways to stop the run and shut Kyren Williams down tonight. I at least think he doesn't run, for 100 yards, 2 touchdowns again. And if they can just kind of halt the run and stop him from getting big chunks at a time, they'll win the game because you can't pass on the 49ers. They've already proven that. So I know it's a big statement. This game's a bit scary, but the line is -2.5 with the 49ers for a reason, and it's because of the things I just listed. So I am going to be on the 49ers as I think Matt Stafford just struggles to pass the ball. If the 49ers stop the run, they win. If they don't stop the run, they lose. I'm willing to bet on their coaching staff and their organization to figure out a way to stop the run. Give me the 49ers by 2.5 and give me the under 49.5 because I don't think either of these teams score that much. I think the Rams kind of get shut down and struggle, and I think the 49ers, I think they score. Guys, I think they might blow them out. Truthfully, I do. I just think the Rams struggle so much tonight, and I think the 49ers come out here and just pass the ball all that they want, and the Rams have slow, sluggish drives trying to get Kyron going, and I don't think it works. A lot of first, second down runs into 3rd and 8, 3rd and 7 positions, and they don't convert. Yeah, I got to go on the under, and I'm on the 49ers -2.5. That's where I'm at for the slate, guys. My final plays for football are right here. I played the 49ers under -2.5, under 49.5. I'm on Brock Purdy to pass for 250 plus, George Kittle to have 60 receiving, and Juan Jennings to have 70 receivings. Already showed they can do it. And the 49ers look better than they have pretty much. They look the best they have all season. George Kittle and Juan Jennings stepping up big time, and they don't really have a running back, but the Rams defense is one of the worst in the leagues, and the 49ers one of the best in the leagues. It's not a good matchup for Matt Stafford and the Rams at all. I think that the 49ers win this by quite a big margin, so I'm happy to lay the 3. Okay, guys, this may be controversial. I know a lot of you guys are going to be like, how the fuck can you fade the Rams? I have to. I don't see any way they can win this. And look, it can happen any given day. Look, they won last time. But hey, look here. The Browns beat the Steelers last time. I still bet the Steelers both times. Steelers won the second time. I just try to make the right play. I know the Rams beat them once. I don't see it happening again. It can happen though. They're adults. They're professionals, and any given day it can happen. But I'm on the 49ers. Okay, let's go ahead and get into basketball, which I love this slate. Let's talk about it. First prop I'm going to be on, guys, DeMar DeRozan, over 3.5 assists versus the Pelicans. So, over the season, he's got a 50% hit rate. You know, coin flipping might not look that appealing. But head-to-head, guys, 10-7. Whenever DeMar DeRozan faces these Pelicans, he just becomes an assist machine. And if you look versus the shooting guard, the Pelicans are 22nd in the league, so they're very bad. They give up a lot of assists to this position. Basically, what happens is they D it up pretty damn good. So they D this position up really well, and then they give up very few points to the shooting guard. So they get on them, they force them to pass, and then they put up a shot. So DeMar DeRozan gets locked up tonight. Tries to shoot, can't, dishes the ball out, and he gets a lot of assists. 10-7 historically, the last 2 times they've seen each other, very high. His line's at 4. He's got a 50% hit rate. Now you're versus one of the worst teams in the league versus for your position. So DeMar DeRozan over 3.5 assists is a lot for me. I love this play. Next, you got the Raptors and the Heat. Grady Dick under 16.5 points. Guys, again, he already hits this more than he doesn't anyways. He has a 60% hit rate on the under for the season in the first place. Then if you look at them versus the shooting guard, they are 9th in points allowed. So they do very good at locking up the shooting guard position. Then if you look at the history, 100%, he's got 6, 8, and 14. They locking his ass up every time they see him. So you have the 3 key points you want to look for when you're doing a player prop. How the team does versus this position, how he's done historically versus them, and does he have a decent hit rate on the season? All 3 things make you want to get to this under. This is a great play, one of my favorite plays today. I'm on his under 16.5. Next, Terry Rozier over 10.5 points. Now, once again, guys, you have versus the point guard. Hold on, I just got a mess. Okay, versus the point guard. The Raptors, 29th in the league in points allowed versus the point guard, aka they are basically the worst in the entire league versus the point guard position. On top of that, guys, historically, if you look at the season, he's got a 60% hit rate, so he's hitting it more than he's not anyways. Historically, he's hit it 4 out of 4 times, 21, 22, 12, and 17, so he's hitting this line anyways. He has good games versus them. And then to top that off, they are the worst in the league versus his position. So again, this is a play that just screams over. So I'm on his over. I love this play. And I would say, guys, realistically, you could look to parlay this up to 15 points or even 20 points if you really want a big lotto with another player. There's a few that I think can have big nights tonight, which I'll talk about. Next, Jaylen Brown, my favorite play of the night, probably as a whole, Jaylen Brown over 23.5 points. I mean, what the fuck? This is such a great spot, guys. So I will say that the Pistons do pretty well versus his position. Trust me, I get it. Versus small forward, they're 11th in the league. They do okay. That said, Jaylen Brown just balls on him every time he sees 31, 33, 24, 28. And for the season, he has a 68% hit rate. There's just nothing in the world to make me think that he can't come out here and put 24 points tonight. I mean, he almost has a 70% hit rate on the season in a history of just balling on these Pistons. So, yeah, and I mean, I've watched the games. He shits on the Pistons every time. So I like it. 23.5 points. Send it. I like to play a lot. Next, Jason Tatum under 8.5 rebounds. So they're average versus his position. Over the season, he's got a 43% hit rate on it. So he's been getting some boards. But the times he's seen these Pistons 7 and 4. I think he has a low rebounding night, and I think 9's a pretty high number. He does get to that 9 a lot. It is a key number for him, so there is a chance this gets 0.5 hooked. It's not my favorite play, but I think he has a low rebounding night. For some reason I just don't even think he's gonna play that much tonight. I see his under 8.5 boards. Historically, he just doesn't get a lot of boards versus them, and that kind of puts me on the play. Okay, but if you don't want to play this, I understand it's my least confident prop. Next, Tobias Harris. This is one I love. Over 11.5 points. Guys, let's start with the history. 17, 16, 14, 13. He got 8, and then he got 27. Now, points allowed. The Celtics are 9th in the league, so they do not allow a lot of points. But versus the power forward, my God, they are the worst in the league. So his position does so well versus the Celtics. They do not lock the power forward up. It is their weakest spot. It is a hole in their defense, clearly. So on the season, he has a 67% hit rate. That's ridiculous. That's enough to make you want to bet it anyways. Then he's versus the worst defense in the league versus his position. And then he has a history of just popping off versus these Celtics. So again, guys, I love Tobias Harris over 11.5 points. Another one of my favorite plays of the night. I'll say, though, I'm looking to parlay him maybe 15 points with Terry Rozier at 15 points. I can see them both going for 15, no problem. So there are a lot of opportunities tonight for great 2-man slips, 3-man slips, and I'm going to look to crack their stupid ass tonight upside the head on his NBA slate, because I just think there's so many sleeper spots on this slip tonight. And then lastly, guys, this I did not play it, but this is something you could look to throw in a parlay slip as well, because I'm trying to start sharing these plays because people are like, how do you cook up these 2-man slips? Trying to start sharing you my thoughts with these. Derek White, over 4.5 assists. I didn't play it because I had to lay minus 150 or minus 140. That's just too much juice. But that said, guys, for the season, over 4.5 assists, he's got a 52% hit rate. So he's hitting it. But if you look, they don't, for whatever reason, they actually are pretty good versus, they don't give up a lot of assists versus the shooting guard. That's fine. But head to head, historically, guys, 5, 10, 11, 3, and 11. He is like an assist fucking god every time he plays the Pistons. So I will be looking to take Derek White at maybe 8 assists, parlay with Tobias Harris or Terry Rozier or even Kyron Williams receiving yards. So these are sleeper spots where I'm looking. Maybe Kyron at 20, Tobias Harris at 15, Derek White at 8 assists, Terry Rozier at 15 points. These odds will be over 1,000. And they have history of hitting, so I don't see why they can't. So this is probably a couple slips I'm looking to cook up tonight as far as props and parlays and things like that, or lotto parlays. But yeah, I didn't play this, but Derek White assist this is a great spot for him. And again, guys, lotto spots. Kyron Williams, 20, 25 receiving yards. Derek White, 8, 10 assists. Tobias Harris, 15 points. Terry Rozier, 15 or 20 points. These odds are going to be through the moon, and they have history of hitting these. This is how you cook up a lotto 2-man slip. Okay, guys, anyway, let's talk about the NBA slate, and I'm going to get you out of here. I just really like the slate tonight, so this video is a bit longer because I loved it. I love the slate. Okay, so first game, Raptors and the Heat. All right, guys. So for this one, I'm on the Raptors plus 10.5. These teams have seen it. First of all, these teams have seen each other twice. So when that happens, games tend to get more competitive and there's less chances for a blowout. Everybody knows that. They've seen each other twice. The one time, I think the Raptors, let me see. Let me give you the right information. I think the Raptors won once and then they lost by like 2 points one time. And then the second time they lost by exactly 10, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Let me make sure I'm telling you guys right here. The Raptors won by 3 once and they lost by 10 once. So they won by 3 and they lost by 10. They've seen each other twice, and now they're going to give you 10.5 points. No fucking way. Raptors plus 10.5. For me, it's a free lock. I love this play. I'm all over it. Pistons and the Celtics, guys, I had to fade this game because, as you guys know, I don't take big spreads anyways, and I hate taking big spreads with the Celtics. It's a trap, guys. It's not profitable over the season. The Celtics have not been profitable on 10-plus point spreads. Celtics played to their opponent. They are a team to win every single game they play. They are not a team to blow you out. It's just not how they play. It's not how they're designed. It's not how they're coached. They do not blow you out. They win the game. So the spread's too much. And then lastly, the Kings and the Pelicans, guys. Give me the Kings minus 6.5, mainly because every key position on the Pelicans defense is bad versus the key position on the Kings offense. And every Pelicans offense key position is bad versus the Kings defense in that position. So the Pelican stars will struggle on offense. The Kings stars won't. I think it's a good spot for the Kings at minus 6.5. I know they've been let down. I know they're hard to bet right now, but every position they have has their number historically and stat wise. So Kings minus 6.5 is where I had to be. So my final plays, guys, are Raptors plus 10.5, Grady Dick under 16.5 points, Terry Rozier over 10.5 points, Jaylen Brown over 23.5 points, Jason Tatum under 8.5 boards, and Tobias Harris over 10.5 points. I'm on the Kings minus 6.5 and DeMar DeRozan over 3.5 assists. And then for a parlay, one I already am going to do is Tobias Harris plus 15 points with Derek White at plus 8 boards at 1,171. Guys, this is such a realistic parlay. This is not crazy. Given the players, given the history, they've hit it throughout the season, and historically they've hit it a lot. This is not a crazy play. The odds are juiced through the moon. Sprinkle it and see if you can crack that dumbass. Why not? I'll be cooking up a lot of these in Discord. Come by, come hang out. Let's get out here. Let's get a bag. Let's have a day. Let's make some money. Let's crack these folks.